Look at us. We're back already.
Who would have thunk a week later? Like, who would have thunk?
They are moving with these seasons,
Moving
aren't they?
and grooving. I guess there are a lot of single people in DC.
Do I need to move to like the DMV? Is
You
what's
might.
happening?
You might. Potomac might be calling your name.
I mean, good Lord, Potomac, what's up?
Well, I'm just thinking if they did a Houston Ready to Love, they might be doing a second one there. So
I'm gonna look out for the casting and we'll just do that. Okay.
yeah, as you should.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the after discussion of Ready to Love Season 6, Episode 1. We are in the Potomac. We have 14 brand new singles. And as much as we love and adore the past cast of Season 5, it's time to say goodbye. I'm your host, Jaimi Alexander, and
Gustavo Carr.
That's right. Actor, dancer, famous movie, everything. Like,
yeah, keep it going. Keep it going until somebody fucking hears. Keep it going.
Yeah, exactly. A famous actor.
Did you hear that? I heard it.
The best in the biz.
You hear that shit? I heard that shit. Okay, great.
That's right. Oh, we got
I'm
our fans
working with
in
the best in the biz. This is so much fun. B, our lovely, lovely B. Hello there, you gorgeous little one. How's it going?
Girl? Ready for this conversation?
Here we go.
Hey.
Did you watch it, B? Ooh. I can't believe there's 14 only. 7 and 7. He really, I mean, Tommy is not playing with these curveballs. He's was like, let's start off hard. Let's throw with a real good hard pitch fastball right away. Ooh, with a curve.
Exactly. But do you know what I love about it is that I started to enjoy Season 5 more the less people that there were, because it did give me a chance to honor the quality over quantity. And here we are again, there's 14 people and this is new. So we're going to do our best with names and associations before we get to know people. But thank God there's not 20 people. What kind of conversation would we be having right now?
Oh, shit. Yeah. No, I think it's right. I think it's quality over quantity. Absolutely. I think it was very smart to do that. I think to still ultimately probably get to 20. I think that's probably what he'll do, right? Production needs to have the numbers, I think, to keep it interesting. But yeah, I like this pace. I like this sorted out, because then if someone is involved, it's like, the first season we were always like, if they would have had a little more time, or they came in a little too late, maybe this is that solution. This is the answer for the questions we had in regards to that.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think when you're creating a show, isn't that how you make it good, keep it relevant, keep moving it forward? I think they did a great job by doing 7 and 7. It made sense to me. What did you think about the episode just overall?
I thought it was really entertaining, actually. I'm still, my heart is still kind of, like attached to the last Season 5 a little. I just really was drawn to that cast, the dynamic of everybody.
Yes.
I was kind of bored a little bit with this cast in the beginning, but then I kind of warmed up to them a little bit, and I saw some crazy that I was like intrigued in, and I saw some boring that I was like, that's getting kicked off. I don't know. I think I'm going to warm up to them, but just from the trailer, maybe at the end of the episode as well, I just feel like it's going to be really juicy. I didn't hear or see anybody holding back. I felt like people were just blah, 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 blah. There was no, there were a couple people, which we'll get to, that were like, I think they're just awkward. They're trying to figure out how to get into the dating game again. It's not easy. But for the most part, I think people were just like adulting from the this is what I want. Do you want that? Great. Okay, we're connecting. Like, it was like a Walter and Sabrina from the last season times like 15. I felt like there were so many different people that were just like, great, I like you. But it wasn't like Camille and Corny where it was just like fake. It was like we're actually connecting on a level. It's not like, oh, that's my boyfriend. I see my boyfriend. It was like, I like him because my wants and my needs are fulfilled because of how, and this blah, blah, blah. So a lot of that got me interested more so in like, what's going to happen with these people? I will say that I don't feel like the fashion is on point, like for the women this season as last season, but I think the men came playing ball harder with their fashion. I feel like it reversed from Season 5. Like Season 6, the men came hard with the fashion, and Season 5, the women came hard with the fashion. That was my subtle observance from the jump so far when it comes to that. I'm no fashion designer. But what about you? What did you think? What did you think of everything so far in this 50-minute episode?
Right. You know, a lot of the stuff that you said, I am still connected to the last season. I really loved everyone so much from the last season, especially those that we were left with, like, you know, the Sydneys, Aisha, Sabrina. I even, you know, I got to see more of Courtney because I'd be tuning in the lives and I'm being nosy, and even the guys, you know. So it's a little bittersweet to have to move on so quickly, but here we are. And you know, I did see a few tweets and people were like, oh, this was boring. But what I think we need to keep in mind is that we were so hooked on the last season. Let's give these people a chance. Because, like you said, I do see, as we got towards the end, some warmness and some things and some juice that we're going to see from some of these people that are going to keep it entertaining. So I thought it was done really well. One thing I observed is like, oh, Lord, if I was there, I feel like I would have been exhausted. It looks like they got there at 11 a.m. and didn't check out till like 9. Just, and I may be all off on that, but I was just like, they still outside in these
Well,
same
that
outfits, just talking
that
to
one girl
people.
was like, I'm exhausted. I have a headache,
Yeah,
tired.
food, like I just. So that was a side note. I was like, I don't know if I could hang. I would have been like, we already talked. Like, what do you just cut who you gonna cut? Like,
Yeah.
I
That
need to
the
eat.
pressure they must feel. The once again, like hats off to these people that are so willing and daring to put themselves out there like this for
Yes.
everybody to watch and learn from and laugh at and cry from and hate. All of the beautiful things that we do as humans. So round of applause to them for even just being so willing first and foremost. But
Yes.
yeah, I could not. That's hard. Just to try to like here, do you have to turn on? I mean, I guess you don't, right? If you just, I think you just turn on your authenticity, right? And that should be enough. Ultimately, when you're dating, that's all you need to do. You don't need to turn on and turn up or any of those things. You just need to turn yourself on.
Correct.
Literally, just
Mm-hmm.
be authentic.
Be available. Be there. Mm-hmm.
But with so many other people around you and everybody doing the same thing, I mean, it sounds dramatic and crazy, but I guess at the end of the day, it's like, okay, you connect or you don't. If you connect, you stick with it or you don't. I don't know. How do you feel about that? Like, would you be able to handle this kind of situation?
You know, every time I watch this, I put myself in their shoes just to get some relatability. And I have to agree, I would have to be in that space like, look, y'all are going to see me and love all of this or, you know, whatever. Because I'm a host, I am an event creator, I have hosted events, and there is a different energy. And I get really excited. And I love Prosecco and I like to talk to people. So I could either be that one going hard all day, but I think I would need to remind myself, like, okay, pace yourself, be available. This is dating. You're not hosting. And this is just my own personal. You're not hosting. This is nothing that you need to. But there is a part of me who's naturally just like, oh, it's so. So I think to preserve energy, I would need to just be available to receive. And in the receiving, I'm very good at reciprocating energy. And there is, because of the nature of this competition, I would remind myself, okay, like you can get up and go over there too. Like I like the way Laverne played it, the bodybuilder in the blue suit, how he had Laverne's
Right.
corner. And he was
Yes.
just like,
That's what I would do. 100% thought the
yeah,
same thing.
post up and draw people to you. Like, you know, you want to talk to me. I want to talk to you. We're here to do that. I'm here. He had women switching out seats. And I think I'd have to mix that into my little game plan. Like, you know, I know how to present. I'm here. Like, and there's another seat. Like, you know,
Yeah,
come and get it.
he did a great job by setting the tone and the energy for like his environment. Absolutely. That's the only way I think it
Mm-hmm.
would work for me. I wouldn't be I don't know. I'm not an air sign like you. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to just turn on and give it to everybody. I would be like I would read the room, boom boom boom,
Mm-hmm.
connect. No, I'm quick. I'm quick with
You
seeing
are.
you and understanding you and
Yes.
knowing that if it's a match for me or not. So I'm like boom 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 boom. You know, and then sit where if I was lucky enough to find something there, I would have to then I would sit in that space probably and I wouldn't really venture out of it. And that's why I probably wouldn't be good for a show like this because they need people that are going to dip into different pockets and pots and different places to see how they all meld and mix and they're probably all pretty experienced in dating, it seems like too, right?
Listen, yeah, I got that vibe too. And,
Like
you
I feel like
know,
they've all went on dates secretly. Some of them already have gone on dates. Like it's, I mean, how big
oh,
is Potomac? How, I mean, you know what I
Well, they
mean?
said in the opening. They were like, "There's millions of singles out here." I was like, "Oh, wow!" Like that
I don't
literally
know.
caught my ear.
Yes, and that all sounds hype. Like I don't know much about Potomac, but like to me, Potomac doesn't seem like a bustling single life city. It seems very much like we're married, we settled down here. I don't know much about Potomac once again, but just from the vibes that I get, maybe it's because I watch Housewives of Potomac and everyone, on that show is booed up. But DC, very, very much so to me. Like, yes,
Mm-hmm.
hustle, bustle, singles on the
Mm-hmm.
thing. But for some reason, Potomac to me is kind of like Orange County, Newport Beach. It's like,
That's how
are
I
there really
feel.
that many
Very like, oh,
singles? There's not that many. You've all dated
listen.
already. You know what I mean? That's what I mean by that.
Yeah,
It's
like
not,
this can't be that much of a mystery. But what do I
no.
know? I haven't been, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
I'm just gonna put
But
mosquito
I get
vibes
that
out there and
vibe.
say that they've seen each other on the apps, a few of them. Not the first time they met. I just have that
Exactly.
energy feeling. It is what it is.
I'm. You know what? I'm not mad at it. I definitely. Yeah, this is a tough thing. I think it will become easier because I like
Hmm.
what you said. It is, when it comes to dating, that is different than hosting and being around. And usually I can see right off, like, I either like it or I don't. So I think it would be important in this space to really do your best to get to know everybody because it's an opportunity to do something outside of what you're used to. So it definitely seems like this crew got that going, and then the ones that stuck did, and then the ones that just didn't feel that energy, they repelled. Like, for example, Joy for a minute really wasn't having it. She was just kind of like, she wasn't feeling that PO
How'd she get on the
dude.
show?
Joy,
Yeah,
you
because
know who
she
I'm talking
just
about, right? The
yeah,
braids, the
yeah,
twists.
the yogi.
No, that is Ace. Ace is the yogi with the hair, but Joy was the one that sat with Clifton and was like, "Oh, he's a big Paul Bunyan." They was the dude in the orange shirt. They were kikiing
Yes.
and laughing.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
shared her
yeah. They were
drink.
having a good time. Yeah, I love that
Correct.
energy. That felt very much. I was like, oh,
Oh,
they have a vibe.
exactly. And they
It's
both recognized it.
there's an ease with them.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to just really parlay off each other. Didn't feel forced. They breathed. They took breaths before they would speak. You could tell it wasn't like on top of each other. They like digest what they said, and then they like took a second, and then they said something. It was just really a beautiful flow to watch.
Yeah. There was room in there. There was room in the
Mm-hmm.
conversation. And that's what's beautiful when you connect with someone. There's no putting on, there's receiving and thinking and breathing and being and responding. Like all
I
of
want to see
these
where
other
they go.
colors.
That's one of the couples that I'm really excited to see what happens with them.
Especially because a lot of women had their eyes on Clifton.
He
That's
sure.
his name, right? I got it right. Clifton.
I don't know. I don't know
Be
right
patient
now.
with us.
Um,
Yes, Clifton.
Clifton, yes, deep, deep voice
Deep
Clifton.
voice,
But
tall.
yeah, I feel like he was partaking in the day thing, but you could tell he was really into Joy.
Oh yeah, and he said it was going to be
He
hard for
said
him
it.
when you find some. Yeah,
He said it. He was like, he basically kind of said like, I found what I want, so I'm going to focus on this. And it's probably not what the producers wanted to hear or wanted him to say, but I like that he was honest and authentic with that. I would love to see where that goes. Um, it was like a Sabrina and Walter moment. It was just like
it was.
the foundation was there, right? It was like
It was
if
instant.
mm-hmm,
But and not to so for this first episode, we can refer to the last ones because y'all we just got out of that. But let's just
easier.
hope Joy, because she's got a little bite and a little strength to her. Let's hope she doesn't introduce any, Zadia or Shiloh moments and just Clifton be like, oh, I thought I liked her, but I don't know.
Wow, and
I think I might like.
you're catching on to that. I can't have I don't have an answer for that yet. I
I
didn't
don't
pay
have an
attention
answer.
enough
I don't
because
have an answer.
I didn't gather any of that yet. But now that you're saying it, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't gather a Zadia ignorance to her. Sorry, it's true
No, no,
that
no,
she's
no, not
ignorant,
maybe not that
but
far.
just
Yeah.
more so. There's a Sabrina strength to her though. Sabrina from the last season's strength, where she's like, I'm not taking any shit. I know who I am. This is what I'm here
Yeah,
for.
absolutely. So
But
Dante Watches is in the chat. What's up, Dante? He said
what's
Joy is
up,
gonna be
Dante?
trouble. You can just tell.
See,
She
she
got a
has a
little
little.
bite.
She might be a Scorpio with that little stinger. She might be like shank, shank, shank.
And there's nothing wrong with bite. So we'll just see where it goes. Shoot, Clifton might do something and she's like, Or they might last and they might, like, we don't know. These are just little
No, this is
fun
the
predictions and
first
chats.
episode, and there's only 14, so we don't even know what's going to happen.
Well, there's only 14 now. We lost 2, and it looks like we're getting 2
Oh,
next
there's
week, but
12.
that's a whole nother
Oh,
story.
yes. Oh,
Tommy and
God,
them curveballs, boy.
I hope he brings people back from last season. Like, that didn't work.
That would be nuts.
So
That would be nuts.
So who else? You know, I like
B,
Sabrina.
I only
B.
bite if I need to. I mean,
Right, B? I mean, we kind of all, not all, but yeah, I'm with you on that, I
but
should say.
but
But,
all.
yeah. Biting's
I
healthy.
think you were gonna say something. I was just literally gonna say, so just
Do
go
it.
say it because you be in my brain. No, you first.
I lost it. I forgot what I was going to say.
I like Sabrina on this episode.
Yes, I like Sabrina
She's cute.
too. Even
Yeah.
like the preview of the next episode, she's like, I don't know what she's going off on one of them. She's like telling them, no, I'm not the one. I loved it. But yeah, her list was cracking me up. I felt like it was you, or like, you know, like we have that list. Her list sounded very similar to your list.
I mean, you gotta love Black people. Like, I'm very Black. Like, we gonna do the Black thing. Like,
yes.
I feel you, girl. Like, she pulled out her phone and was like, and I like that her list, it wasn't superficial. She said consistency, consideration, and loves Black people. It has to.
And that was 3
Sabrina.
off of the 160 words on there. Lists, like bullet points. For sure.
But you know what I love
She's
so
been
much?
very specific. She spent her time. She's been very thoughtful, which makes me really excited to see how this process ends up for her then. Because she's so clear, looks like, intentfully, right, on what she's going after. I'm really intrigued to see then what happens from that. I hope that she brings that list out every episode and shows us what's been checked off and what hasn't, or if what's changed, or what's not, what's a need, what's a want. I would love for that to be a part of this.
And I love it too, because there were some women, I believe it was Tiffany, the one who was almost on the chopping block first, who was guarded and has 2 sons, who was just kind of like, I don't know, I don't really have a type, And I'm like, well, girl, you got to know a little something about
She's
what
just
you're
been out
looking
of the
for.
game. She's been mama mode.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed with her. I was like, I hope she doesn't get kicked off yet, because she's just mom mode.
She needs to warm.
She's mom mode. That's like Debbie going on a dating show. She'd be like, by the way, Debbie's one of our friends, but you know what I mean? Like, she's been mom mode for 6
hardcore
years, I think.
for solid,
you know,
6
just
years.
mom, nothing. So I gave her grace in that sense. And I want her there. I like that she spoke about her sons being open to the right person because they've seen her hurt. So she has 2 sons that are going to be, you know, her bodyguards essentially, and the detective, and make sure that, you know, the right person shows up for her. So I want to see that process with her. I want to see her outside of the dynamic with her kids, you know, not feeling like she has to entertain her children in this process, but she gets to focus on herself and what's good for her, and then bring that to the table with the kids at the table to, you know, for them then to entertain the meal all together. So
see how it all mixes up. Hit that comment.
Dante, I think Clifton is going to start getting too much attention from the other women as well as Laverne. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, they were already saying it, right? Everybody was saying that. It was kind of like a Phil moment. Sorry, I keep referring to.
We can refer this episode. Does everybody agree? We can refer to season 5 in this episode, because we gotta let them go.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I know.
But yes, but we should.
It was a Phil moment. Like, Phil definitely was
a Phil
like,
moment.
Yeah.
Everybody was feeling Clifton. Yeah.
Laverne done swept. I'm telling you, Laverne with his little cool corner. I was like, okay. Laverne, and he was funny. He had a very nice smile, and he was willing to give, but not too much. Like, he was giving enough to be present and engaging, but it wasn't too much. Now, one conversation. Before we move on from Sabrina, what I really loved about her was she said that she's in her 2.0. She's like, I know what I bring to the table. She's just more understanding about herself and her journey and what she wants. And when I hear a woman say that, I'm like, this is the perfect environment. Go ahead, girl. Get on out there and see how what you got is working for you. You know, you've done the work. Now here's the playground. So I'm excited for her.
It's so funny because that line actually turned me off.
Really?
You know, there's something about people having to put on, like, I am new and improved and I am ready. To me, that says you're not ready. You're still
Oh,
harboring something from the past. You're
wow.
still holding on to that shit. If you're being like, but now I'm ready. I feel like that means you're still too attached to things back
Oh,
there. Now, if you would have just, I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. By the way, I watched that. That was kind of like I was like, you don't need to be like I'm 2.0, I'm ready. I don't know. I don't know if I trust that, but I understand
okay.
why you would like that.
Yeah, I'm just I get why she said it. I can see your point of view, and I really love it. I love how you always come with these little 1-2s around the corner real quick. Like, oh, I didn't see it like that or think about it like that. But I can get why you would say that, and I get why she said what she said, and I guess we're just gonna have to find out how that's working for her
100%. But even right
because I
now,
can't
like
tell.
that whole little like spat that we see in the preview that she goes with, to me that just is like, is that a 2.0? We
Oh,
don't know yet.
oh,
We don't know.
we
We don't
don't
know.
know.
That could be her 2.0 standing up for herself.
That's
But
what I was getting right.
that's what I'm saying. We
Maybe
don't
the
know.
old her would have,
Dante,
yeah. What's up?
thank you, Dante. That's exactly what it is, Dante. You said it perfectly. People will talk about how much they've changed as a turnoff. I couldn't agree with you more
Ooh,
because,
okay. I
in
wanted
my
to be
personal
proud for her,
opinion,
but
I'm still proud for her because she's on the process. She's on the
uh-huh.
journey of it. But I remember running into one of my old castmates, Francia Rice, and check her out on the new show on Hulu. What is it? How I Met Your Father.
Mm.
We ran into each other, and she was like, she said something along the lines of, like, I'm finding myself. Like I'm not the old me. This is the new version of me. And I was like, no, no. I was like,
Mm.
the way you are and who you are is great and perfect the way it is. Don't change to be something that you're not. Just keep. I guess it's a
Yeah.
2.0, but I didn't say it in that sense. But my point is, it's what you just said, to always feel like, but because then you're basically saying what I have been isn't good enough. And if you still walk on that line a little bit, that means you haven't healed what you need to really enjoy self understanding and love. You're still putting on because you don't really believe that you are enough in some sense at a
Mm.
deeper level. And
Mm.
so that's what I gather from that. And Dante said it more simply. When people
No,
talk
but
about it
Dante's
too
coming with
much,
the one
it's,
too. I'm gonna have to.
yeah,
Dante said it's cool to learn about someone now and then learn how much they have changed or are different than they used to be. Now I'm feeling that because usually when you go through change, I like to, well, and this is personal, but we talk about our own. I like, instead of a new and improved type version, I'm more excited to think about just the original, the OG, the without the putting on, without the changing, without, like, we're stripping down, we're getting back to the basics as opposed to like
yes.
remaking and renewing and so I can see what you're
I would
saying.
love to be able to sit down in this next session, when whatever date I go on or whatever, and just be like, when you're having a conversation, be like, I remembered who I am.
That's what I'm
I'm
so
I'm me.
that's so
This
good.
is
Yes.
me. You know what I mean? And as
Yes.
opposed
I
to,
do. I
because
do know what you mean.
I've also been there, whatever, like, oh, this is like the new version of me. And that's why I was able to say that to Francia so easily, is because that was a trap that kept me from actually healing
You're
what I
right
needed to
about
heal.
that. I like the way you,
Um,
you got to that quick. I like that because that's very true. It's very true. That's that part of us
you
that
live,
thinks we
you
need to be something
learn.
different.
100%.
Yeah.
You don't like I've been talking about. If you're new to watching, awesome, welcome. But I just turned 40 in November, and something happens when you turn 40. It's like you really just
Mm.
sit into who you are, and you just really start to love it and accept it. Even when I'm watching like old videos of me doing kid songs when I was 10, 11 years old on TV, like I'm able to now watch it and be like, that's who you are. That's who you've always been. Now, 4 or 5 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to sit so effortlessly in
Mm.
seeing that, yes, the essence of me has always been that. I'm just stepping into myself again authentically.
Mm.
And there are parts of me that are flawed. There are many parts of me that are flawed just authentically as who I am. And that is okay, because that's
Mm.
a part of the beauty and the light that I'm able to shine now and bring to the table because of it, as opposed to being like, I was this way, that's not this way anymore. Trust me, I've had that mentality. And that's
Mm.
why it's so easy for me to hear that from Sabrina and think, she still has a lot of work to do. because I was there. You know what I mean? So
I'm not
anyway,
mad at that. And I love the way that you put that. And especially as your friend watching that, I was able to see quickly, like, oh, this is him. This is what this is the original. He always been this, period, regardless of what we go through. So I love that you said that. And I love what Dante said too. It is so, I even look forward to those conversations to grow with somebody and be like, man, I used to but now, and it's different when you're growing from that space, when you're getting to learn about how somebody changed. It makes it a more enriching conversation. So rather than just, I'm here, I'm new, I dusted it, I know what I want and did it, like, yeah, you got to walk it a little bit. So I appreciate that. I'm happy for her for knowing and feeling like this is where she is and what she needs and where she's headed. And I'm also 100% on board with what you guys are saying, because it makes perfect sense.
I just
It
keep
really
hearing
does. I like that.
the word denial. There's a part of denial then you're like in the sense of you're denying a part of yourself if you're just trying to avoid who you really are. You know?
Yeah, because it's not really a 2.0. It would be the original. It's just
Kid songs, heartthrobby. I don't know.
it's
There's
so good. Y'all gotta
such
see.
thing. Oh my
You know
god.
what we'll do one day, since you guys have been with us for so long, is we'll play some of our old stuff really quickly so you can get to know your hosts and what we've been up to. Like,
Gosh.
there's so many great things that you guys just don't know. We're not just two regular people talking on your YouTube right
But
now.
we are two regular
But we
people.
are two regular.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, talk to me. What did you think about the conversation? So, Precious is the red dress. She's the one getting around. She seems like she might be really tall. I can't tell. But Precious and Tori had a conversation about how they didn't have their mothers in their life. And Romeo and Juliet, even though that was just the name of the drink, it sparked a conversation that went so much further than naming a cocktail. What did you think about that scene, and how did that make you feel?
I really enjoyed their interaction a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like they, from the jump, were really able to sit and lean into what they're there for. Um, it was really beautiful. You know, we talked about this on the last season a lot about not trying to fix somebody or be a part of their healing process of what has been missing and fill that in for them. They need to do that themselves. But there's something about the way that she's authentically takes charge and nurturing, and he is authentically okay with just kind of like being there and like kindly, silently strong. That their differences, I felt like really complemented each other. It didn't feel like they were overshadowing each other, if that makes sense, or it was you would have to put more effort in on one end or the other just to find some commonality. It was a really beautiful moment for me, I think. How about you?
I thought it was great. I thought it was transparent. I thought it was open. One thing that did cross my mind is like, okay, I hope they don't build a trauma bond here. And it
That's
didn't
what I'm trying
seem,
to say. Yeah, the trauma.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
because it gets really easy to be like, I didn't have a mom, you didn't have a mom. We just understand each other. And
But
then
that's really beautiful.
it is, because that's what I'm saying. So I'm on two sides. I don't know yet. I don't know if in the unfolding some more is going to come out that's going to make me see if this is a positive thing or not. Tori seemed to be really feeling her because, like you said, with Precious, even though she was raised by her aunt and didn't have certain things, she wants to nurture, and she seems good at that authentically. And I think she should trust herself and continue to lean into that, because what she was missing right now, I'm not getting a huge gap from that, as if she cannot show up and they're just going to both be struggling to
Mm.
give each other, these things. So Dante in the chat said, Precious is cooler than I thought. I thought the same thing, but
Mm-hmm.
she is going to get friend zoned. And I understand that happens a lot. I see why you say that, Dante, because sometimes, kind of reminds me of Courtney in the last episode when you're a little too like, I'm gonna get it, that's mine. Can I sit down? Let me get this. Sometimes that works, being the homie and using certain lingo and all this, and sometimes it can be counterproductive. So I see why you say that.
I see why you say that, Dante, but I'm going to disagree. Just we don't know anything. That's why this makes it fun. So we'll see. To be determined, Dante.
TBD. We're just throwing
But
things out
I
there.
I think unlike Courtney didn't have somebody that was a good counterpart for her
She
on that
didn't.
last
You're right.
thing.
I agree.
Cornelius Homo.
There was no,
So it didn't
please.
matter.
Yeah, no, no,
So
no. You're
like,
right.
but this guy, what's his name?
Tori.
Tori.
Hmm.
Seems like he's a good counterpart for her.
He does. They do seem like
They
good
seem,
counterparts.
and I think, was it Precious that said, I want to build a friendship first?
No, that was Tiffany.
But we all know the way to true love is building a friendship.
I think
And
friendship,
I
oof,
think somebody like him is going to actually prefer that type of movement in a relationship. And I think she does
I
as
agree
well.
too.
So I'm looking
Hmm.
forward to seeing what that is. But I heard you, Dante, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that unfolds. They gave off Walter vibes with the bonding through trauma. Yes, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's it felt like that exactly. That's what I was
Interesting.
saying.
That's a good person.
There were two because I felt like they were like a Sabrina and Walter, and then we already talked about the other couple that was like a Sabrina and Walter, where it's just you just watch them like kind of just like dip in and like sit and be like, "Hey, I see you. I see you too." But this is my
Mm-hmm.
feeling. I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
therapist. I'm not a psychologist. I don't know much. I am single, but I don't look. I don't think trauma bonding it like in that's. I how can I say this? I think when you are at a lower level of understanding and awareness of yourself, and there's trauma that shows a commonality between you two, that to me is more like trauma bonding because you
I
rely
know
on
what you
that
mean.
for the
You
connection.
rely. Mm-hmm.
But when you're someone of like who is aware of themselves, who's done the work, and
Precious, which she
he's
seems to
grown,
be aware of
which is
herself.
precious, and it sounds like he is too because he seems to be aware of himself.
He was
Because
very
I don't feel
clear.
like he's not putting that information out there in a victim mentality. He's actually, to me, he's saying that this is my now I've turned it into a strength,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I don't get a trauma situation from that. They have a commonality in the past of trauma, but I don't feel like it's trauma bonding. Once again, I don't know shit, but that's just how I gathered that information from observing them.
And you know, since we're doing our comparisons, it could be a Tyrone situation where he's an amazing man and he's just letting you know up front. It's a little hard to get in here, but once you're in, I'm locked. My mom didn't tell me she loved me until a few years ago, which is, by the way, I hear that from a lot of men. I'm gonna say black men because that's who I'm talking to. Not to say it doesn't happen to other, but I've heard that personally from a lot of black men, including the game. The game even said that my mom didn't tell me she loved me until I was 24 years old. Blah blah blah. You know, so it affects people differently. But for him to be aware that that affected him and to be able to let somebody know, me, if I was hearing that, it would give me a certain sensitivity in a place to of understanding. Like, okay, I want to get to know. I see there's a block here or whatever, and it would allow me to massage that in a particular way because he let me know something about him and something that's hard for him. I don't see that as a down, you
Now, when
know.
people lean on that as a crutch, though, and they let that be the consistent
I
thing
never,
that, like,
yeah,
as
and
an
they start acting
excuse,
up.
we don't know
Hello,
that yet. This is the
come
first
on,
episode. We'll find out.
listen.
We'll find
That's
out.
a whole nother.
That's a whole nother situation because
Mm.
a lot of men will use that to their advantage and give you their
What you
trauma
doing, my mom and I, and
and
dump on
then
you and run through you and
use it as an
bleed on
excuse to
you.
all the above. We've
Look at
been
me.
there, both of us. Yep. Sip that tea, bitch, because you spilling it right now. Don't get it
Mm,
all over your
mm,
floor. Dante,
mm,
I've worked on
mm.
too many reality shows and read people quickly on these shows. I love that.
You
Yeah.
know, you guys have that alike, you and him, you know.
I haven't worked on many reality shows, but I just read people
But just
really
being able to read people quickly.
quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Dante, and you get it. My mother never said she loved me. You know, I
Mm.
don't know or understand that. Dante, if you don't know, I have a show called Kings Speak. So if you dig through my channel, you will see a whole folder of about 80 conversations speaking with men. And, um, you know, it's kind of a common thing. I don't know why, but I do see a lot of men using that to transcend that and make sure to tell their kids that they love them and make sure to tell their sisters and brothers and things like that, just something different from the way they grew up. So I love to see that we're having the conversations that help people push past this because that's got to be tough, you know, that we all have things. But to be able to learn how to push past that and want to give your children and people you're around something different, I don't know. It's a beautiful thing. It's healing. I'm glad people are finding that. So I
Yeah.
love that, B. Your mom is your hero. I
That's
love my
awesome.
mama too. I get it. Mom is lit. And my mom's not emotional. She looks at me all the time like, you guys are just so emotional. And I'm like, yeah. You know, she's just like, I don't get it. Relax.
Yeah.
She's my hero. And kind of for that reason, what an amazing balance, right?
Mm.
So let's see who else we got up in here. Oh, why don't we talk about the woman who did get cut? What did you think about Keena?
I don't even remember her.
The black dress.
I don't
I'll tell
remember her.
you what I got. So
No, meaning
Keena
like
sat.
I didn't remember. Like that's why that's what I mean. Like
I got you. She was really beautiful. I liked her outfit and I liked her hairstyle. So I thought she was very pretty. So she was like, you know, her intro thing was like, I want a man to lead and I'll pull the strings. Now she's 39. But when she sat down with Wiley, he, I believe, is 32. And he prefers older women. And she was just like, I'm not going to be
she was real cut off.
robbing the cradle. I was like, girl, robbing the cradle.
Yeah,
39 to 32. That's
I didn't read that from
much.
that. I from that situation, I got insecurity. I saw right away from that moment where she sat with him, her internal dialogue was, I can't mess with him. I wouldn't be able to hang with him. And he's too young and cute and all that. That was to me her escapism to justify her fact of him being too
wow,
young.
she got out of there quick. But he said he likes older women. Because I'm gonna tell you now. Well, you know me. I don't know. I it may be part of the issue, but I
Dante,
like
Mr. Cleo vibes. I on Twitter, I guessed Keena was going to be the first one gone.
She wasn't really open and like loving, and she didn't really see nothing she liked. She didn't really give any, like nothing was pleasant, and not because she's not a pleasant person, but she wasn't giving. Like I didn't get anything from her.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, look, as you would know, Dante, if you from reality TV show, they need somebody to go home first.
True.
There always needs to be the one that we call the pork chop on RuPaul's Drag Race, the first one to go. So, you know, and you know that's fitting. She didn't really belong.
She didn't belong. It wasn't gonna work. I didn't really see any synergy with her. It just.
I'm not gonna.
Cute girl. I wish her the best, but yeah.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, she needs to open up her heart a little more. So here's the thing. She's, you know, we talked about Sabrina and having her list and being so clear and specific. Like I feel like she needs to be a little more open to. She seems to be too clear with no wiggle room for somebody to let somebody in.
Gotta have the wiggle room.
You know, too protective.
Yeah.
Black women speak. Hello, great conversation as always, Jaimi. Thank you for coming on here. Yeah, she's a great conversationalist. She's an amazing host. Hard not to have a good conversation with this woman.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for always tuning in.
Mm-hmm.
Black Women Speak. She comes through our sister chats, Queens Glean, the whole nine.
Love it.
Love to see you up in here.
Absolutely.
And Dante, yes, Keena wanted to be sought after. I get it. But you know, we really got to read the room. This is Ready to Love.
You can't want to be sought after and give nothing. You can't not leave any breadcrumbs. You can't like there was nothing there to be sought after. And that's what I mean by the disillusionment of like thinking that what she's going to do was enough, or there needs to be more work put in on her side. And a lot of people do that. Trust me, I get it. I've been one of those people.
I get it.
Where I was like, you know, and then you have to reassess and be like, well, am I giving enough? Am I doing enough? I want this, but is that what I'm putting out? Right. Am I making that accessible for somebody? Right. And I think she needs to have those conversations with herself before she's really ready to love. So they did the right thing by giving her the chop because she ain't ready to love.
Yeah, and maybe this will launch her into some of the stuff that you're saying, Gus, for her to be aware of that. And that's fine.
I hope so. I hope so. That's all. That's what I hope for everybody. You know?
Absolutely.
We all deserve it. She sure
did.
And people do that all the time. Look at Instagram, look at Twitter. Everyone thinks that this physical thing is enough. And for many it is. But
no lies. Like to see her last season. And not to say she wasn't great, but hello.
Well, see, Dante, I was trying not to refer to people from last season. Thank you.
We're doing that this episode, though.
But I was going to say she was just like to see her from last season, but I didn't want to bring somebody up again from the past. But that's what I was.
But it's true.
Tassia vibes 100. The thing is, Tassia lasted a lot longer, which was surprising to me.
But she was on the chopping block from day one.
And yes, 100% Tassia vibes, which I was trying to avoid, Walter.
Dante's out here calling people out.
Dante.
Yeah, we have to. It just ended. You're exactly right. So that's what I'm saying. This episode, we are
I
doing
know it's
comparisons
so
from
good.
last
I
because
miss it.
we barely got done with them. We've been watching all of the Instagram lives and they're still talking and now they're
You know,
creating things. And
Love is Blind did like a little situation where they had a few episodes a year later where they kind of reconnected with everybody.
I would love that.
I would love that for season 5.
They need to do that for season 5. I hope we fall in love with season 6 as much. So it's tough act to follow.
Yeah, it really was.
Tough act to follow. What did you think about P.O.? Because he was giving me Corey vibes all day.
See, y'all, I'm trying to get out of the habit, and y'all just keep feeding my habit. 100%, and that's the thing.
P.O.
That's what they do. Casting does this. We've talked about this. They make sure that there are certain people lined up to give that, to fill that blank, to check off that check mark. You know, he's absolutely that guy. Yeah, like just, oh god. But I just hope he doesn't come on the reading crying like he was misunderstood and misinterpreted like Corey did that bullshit. Like ain't nobody got time for this. That bullshit that you fell for.
Like Corey's crying.
Not over here. Yeah, he's done it many times, I'm sure, to get his fucking way and to justify the way he is. I ain't got time for that shit.
Yes, Dante. Paul was doing way too much. I knew him or Fernando were leaving.
Fernando too. Like,
okay, so Fernando was giving spoken poet man from the first season. The spoken word poet from with the glasses that wasn't really.
There is definitely a curriculum that they follow, right?
And I wanted Fernando. He seems so sweet, but the poor guy, this is just not what he does. This is 100%. Not his getup. And then there's got to be something there because he says he's chivalrous, and I got that. He cooks. Love that. But he was like, he had an ex that had no respect for him. She cheated. She brought men in their house. She went to a swingers party without him.
Because he doesn't respect himself.
And he has the makeup to be something completely different. And I want that for him.
He hasn't done the journey of self-love.
Fernando.
Try it. Read some books. Love yourself. You seem like you have a lot to offer somebody, but you don't recognize how much you truly have to give and offer to somebody, which is never going to be seen and reciprocated unless you really sit into that.
Enough said. I ain't got nothing to say. No knight ever says they are chivalrous. You let people see it. And again, completely understand that. I should have known that when the last guy I dated said he was an alpha. I was like, you ain't gotta. Okay, well, guess we'll see. Why you gotta say that for?
When people do that because they get a reaction out of it that's worked for them for so many times that they just continue to keep using that same narrative.
They think they don't recognize that.
Yeah, because it's worked because people have fell for it and they give them what they want at the end of the day from using the same words, the same cues. But at the end of the day, when you're really trying to seek and you want love, you got to get past that shit. You have to move beyond it. So it's even more important to not do the shit you've been doing. It's important not to be like, P.O.
What he was throwing.
That doesn't work for you. That's never worked for you. So you want to trust me, it's never worked for you. Trust me. It might have worked for you once. It worked for you once, but it didn't really work for you is what I'm trying. It worked for you once because some stupid girl thought it was cute and sexy. And then you had sex with her and you've never seen her again in your life. And she was heartbroken and cried over you for 5 years. Great. That didn't work for you.
And now he's in this room full of grown women who are like,
no, that don't work.
Sir.
Yeah.
What did you
put on
say?
blast real quick.
Yeah.
No,
it's true.
Even Tommy was like, no, it's not how us grown men act.
Correct. Mm-hmm. It's hard for guys like that to move beyond it because it works 6 out of 10 times. That's correct. And just like Corey from last season, he was cool with playing the numbers game, which is just like P.O. this season because the first girl that walked in, he was like, speak, say hello, like give yourself.
Did you not watch the last season, P.O.? Did you not just see the reflection of yourself in Corey?
But you know what? It was
you had time to change and grow before you came on here, but you wanted to do the same antics. How'd that work out for him?
But
Didn't.
you know what? They were probably filming the same time that the other one was showing, so he probably didn't get a chance to
Uh,
take it all in. And that's
uh,
just my guess. But like, Lord have mercy, it's
right.
terrible. And he seems like a cute, nice guy. But Pio and Fernando, they're both high. It's not going to work. They're both they got it. They got a lot of work to do, and it's not a bad thing at all. I'm sure I can tell that they're amazing people, but like, bruh, put
It's
them
really good
down.
for them to see themselves on this platform.
Yeah, because even Joy right off the bat was like, and I think Ace too was like, and he was like, I'm not getting anything from Ace, which is the other woman with the braids, the yoga
The
girl. We could talk
yogi
about
girl,
her next.
the new Shiloh, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how it's gonna work out for her. Wiley was bored with her. He was just like, we talked about yoga
I'm
the
bored
whole
with her,
time.
honestly. She
I
turns
was
on when
bored with her.
Tommy comes on, and that's it. Like when Tommy's there, she sees like she puts on for camera, but then like when he's not, she's very like.
Yeah, and she's really
I'm
beautiful.
concerned that she might be a spiritual narcissist, like a lot of yogis can tend to be unconsciously, just by the way she's
Oof.
moving so far. To be determined. To be determined. Joy and
Mm.
Ace are not for the games.
Yeah, they're not. They got that quick with him. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not going to entertain your antics. Who are you?
No.
What have you done with the man under the suit? Um, Ace mentioned that she was married for a year and a half, but that was 10 years ago, and it
But
was
when he had the audacity, I was like,
trying to reach for fake deep conversation. That's what that was. Huh?
that
Like,
was like, what the? How do you expect anybody to like you?
it just didn't make sense. It's like, didn't you hear me
It
say that was
was,
10 years ago? I was a kid.
but it doesn't make sense for you to even say that type of thing to somebody you just met, who you're trying to fall in love with. You're trying to find your love here, so you're ready for love, and you're acting like a fucking reverend, condoning somebody for their sins. Like, what the fuck is that shit? Wrong show, bro. Wrong show.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, Paul said she was guarded, and it's like, yeah, because a woman always knows when you're putting on. So yeah, I'm
Yes,
putting the guard up because I don't
you
want you to
said
get in any further.
he had to say that. He had to say that
Oof.
because he knew what he was doing was not the right move. Deflect, deflect.
You know, I've really gotten used to just because.
You gotta go all the way.
Thanks,
The fuck.
thanks for the
Oh.
moment, guys. Thank you for your patience and the moment. Dante in the chat says Fernando said she didn't give it a chance. She
Who
said,
would give it a chance with him? Why would you give it a chance?
"Wait, who
You
didn't give a
are
chance with who? Paul didn't give a chance. Po didn't give a chance with
said
Ace.
she didn't give it a chance. No,
Yeah, that Ace didn't.
Fernando.
Yeah,
What was Fernando and Ace, right? That's the when he was like, "Oh, so you didn't really try to make it work. A year and a half."
but that was Paul that said that too. That was Po
Cop,
that said that to Ace.
copy that.
So Fernando was the one. Fernando was just Joy didn't like Fernando. Meaning the marriage. Yes, Dante. Yeah, Joy didn't like
Yes.
Fernando either because he was like, "So, where do you live? What do you do for a living? What's your favorite
You
color?"
you know I've been there though when like there's just
Aww.
no chemistry there, and then you're
Yeah.
like, let's just ask the basic questions because there's what else am I gonna say?
Yeah. So just yeah. Uh, moving
Joy's
on.
gonna be entertaining this season, I think.
She is because she's very. She does give me Sabrina
Sabrina
vibes.
and
Yeah, she knows
Joy
who
are
she
going to
is. Yeah.
carry this season for sure.
Sabrina and Joy are going to carry the season. I do think that was really cute with Sabrina and Demetrius. Now, all the women were on Demetrius. I don't know if it was the suit and he's a good looking guy, but these women were not playing about some Demetrius, like
He's the one with the beard.
the ball to the beard, and that's so funny. y'all are in sync tonight. It's just
100%. It's
like
because it's the first episode, Dante. We're still stuck on that last season. Like, yes, it's too soon after the episode. Yes.
the ball guy with the beard,
Same thing.
the
Same
one with the
thing.
eggplant suit.
The new Frank.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh. So he was in the military, which I love. He was in the army. My dad was a 20-year retired Marine. And yeah, they be cheating in the military. Not everybody. And my daddy didn't cheat. But I'm just saying, when you be going on these deployments and it's kind of like a known thing in the military that people are just, cheating. So he did talk about cheating in his marriage. I love that he admitted the infidelity and was accountable for it because you can only grow into greatness when you're responsible for that greatness and when you're accountable for your actions so you can
But
actually
how quick do
change.
you like bring that to the table? Like that's a little quick for me.
But what are we here for? You know, because
Yeah, but the first
Sabrina had
episode,
the
that's a,
same, but they were both married, so it was a similarity. And he was like,
hmm,
mine ended because of this.
I see.
I'm not mad. Like, okay, yours ended because of this. I love that he didn't blame her. We just weren't compatible, or she was this, she was that. I was unfaithful, and I've taken account. Before you say anything, I've taken accountability for it. I went to this and that for it. You know, I
I
was
don't. I
seeing a.
just personally would have waited to the second date to like put or third to put that much information into it because personally for me, if I were on the receiving end, that's kind of a red flag for somebody to give me so much information so quick. Because from the
Mm,
past, people that give that much information that quick make excuses for their behaviors, like for what they might do and how they did it. Well, I told you I did this, as opposed to just being like giving me what happened. Like, yeah, we didn't work out. Da 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 da. Okay, great.
and then
Second or
another
third
layer,
date.
yeah,
So then what happened with it? Well, this, do you get what I'm trying to say? That's
another
just where
layer,
my
peeling
instinct
the
goes.
onion. Okay.
Yeah, or it's just a little too quick. But hey, I go
Mm,
quick sometimes, so I get it.
take this one.
Demetrius carried himself quietly, but you know he got around and is tried and needs to
And
settle.
is tired, honey.
You can tell tired and needs. You can tell that he is absolutely ready to settle, no doubt. Maybe that's why he was just so forthright and quick-witted with it, just to be like blah blah
I'm
blah
here.
blah
I'm here.
blah,
I'm here.
so that someone could be like, okay, like you said, Jaimi, I respect that you're taking accountability right now. But personally, for me, I wouldn't want you to give me that information at like the second or third date, because or else I'm gonna be like, that's really quick.
Yeah, well, you know, so I was seeing someone not that long ago, and they mentioned infidelity in their marriage, and I didn't take the information like I could have.
And
And it's
that
one,
happened to you.
yeah, it happened to me, and it happened to the fiance they got
That
now.
that
They
yeah, the
still
baby's on the
cheating.
way. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
no,
trying to
the
say.
baby's here. He's still cheating.
Oh,
So it's just like,
100%. And that's what I
yeah,
mean. That's why it's
but
like,
so that's why. But to be honest with that, there was never any. Yes, there was accountability, but then there was never proof of changed behavior. This is what I did. This is what I learned. This is how I
mm,
got out of that. This is how I. So I think my ear is hearing it like, okay, I heard one and two. Let's hear three and four. Explain it to me.
that's
Like,
what you're saying.
let
You're
me
saying that there's
hear.
still room to keep talking, having a conversation.
Yeah, like let me, so yes, you're right. First date, that's a little like, I love the
It's not
peeling
even a
back
first
of the
date.
onions, but correct. This is like speed
This
dating.
is,
So
yeah,
what are the rules? But I
yeah.
feel you.
Hey, to each their own.
Oh, almost lost them. So Dante said, I would prefer that information quickly and not waste time if I chose not to continue. And understand that under these circumstances, I think I would have preferred Demetrius just to come out for me too. Regular dating, we got maybe a little bit more time to, but
I'm gonna disagree
this,
with both of y'all. No, that's too much for me on the first,
okay, yeah,
especially
and
when
that's
I'm trying to,
okay.
when there's this many people around me, I'm like trying to get everybody's story. That's too much. Like,
No, yeah, I need to know.
let me just get to know you enough. I don't need you to tell me like, yeah, da, 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 da. I need you to be like, da, 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 da. Okay, great. So that I have something else to talk to you about and be like, well, then what happened and how have you grown since? But in the mid, like on a one-on-one intentional, but like with everybody around and that just wouldn't work for me. It'd be too much. It would be a red flag to me. I would have
Well, I
passed on
think they
him.
were one on one. They were in the cut, kind of like the Romeo and Juliet story. I mean, to admit that your mom wasn't there, to admit your mom never said I loved you. I think that's deep too. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
They
know.
were up to each their own,
Yeah,
I think, and then too, with the my background, with it being just a little bit different, I think that I just go ahead and I want to know. Tell me. I want to know. That's just could just be me and Dante.
yeah.
um, it is a lot though. It's a lot. Oh, and it's like the older we get, people are coming with a lot. One thing I was refreshed to see with the guys, which I kind of wish some guys are, but like I believe them when they say they're ready to settle down. They're not out here. Several of the guys were like, I don't care. Laverne said, I don't care if Beyonce's in the room. I'm trying to be with mine. A lot of the guys were like, I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't need that. I just want one. Somebody else was like, I never had one person to grow with. I think that was Laverne too. I never had one person to grow with and build with, and I just want that. Yes. How
Yeah.
refreshing.
Yeah, no, that was the Marine, what's his name?
Demetrius.
Demetrius. I
Yeah, because he already,
genuinely believe he
yeah.
really wants to settle down. Like, there's
Yep.
no doubt about that for sure.
Yep.
And Laverne too. It didn't seem put on when he was like, "I'm looking for the one. I don't care who walks in the room." And I appreciate. Now that's the kind of
Oh
man I want
God,
to
I
be with.
love that.
That
Absolutely.
that he's just that clear on being like it. That was who I talked to with that
Hello.
energy and that mentality.
Yep.
That's who I would have a conversation with and be on another date with for sure.
I'm with you on that. That is so reassuring because now I know we're really on the same page.
Yep.
Because
Yeah,
yeah,
because I don't care who walks in the room
I
either.
don't
We're
care
here.
either.
I'm around these people all the time. It's my job. It's what
It's
I've
not a
done my
big
whole life.
deal.
I don't
Okay.
care who walks in the room.
Well,
You need to know that. Like that's and a lot of people are insecure with that and they can't deal with
absolutely.
and date people like us because of what we do for a living.
Yeah.
But yeah, people like us do exist, like Laverne and you and I, where it's like I don't care who comes in the room.
What that
Look,
got to
as
do with
much
me and
as
you?
I want to marry Colin Farrell or Henry Cavill, if they walk in the room and I'm with you, I'm with you.
Yeah. Period.
I'm not going to probably even see them actually if I'm with you. So
I need that. I need us to create our world and live
yeah,
in it together. I'm cool with that.
yeah.
All right. Good stuff. Let's see. Who do we miss? Dakia, yellow dress. I don't know anything about her. The dating apper.
She was in the beginning.
She was quiet. She was like one of the first ones.
Yeah, she was one of the first ones, and then didn't really know much about her.
I didn't get much from her at all. Even though she gave me Karen, she seems like she would be friends with Karen from Potomac.
Totally. She probably is. Dante says, I'm very iffy about Laverne. Something about him makes me squint. Interesting, Dante.
We're going to pocket that one, Dante.
Mm-hmm.
We might have to bring that up later, Dante.
We'll have to bring that up.
You might be onto something.
Yeah, well, it makes sense if I was attracted to it. If I thought that was what I wanted to hear, yeah. With
Dang, me too.
with my history.
Look, I was like, dang, I'm reevaluating because I thought so much of Walter too in the beginning. So again, last season we saw so many twists and turns with who we thought we knew. And, then we get a retreat situation in True Colors. Very titled show. True Colors start to come out. So we just don't know.
No, this is the best part. It's the first episode. These are
correct.
We get to give our little inputs and predictions, and then we get to find out what happens. That's the fun part of coming back every week.
Correct. There's some things in here.
But yeah, girl in the yellow dress.
Dakia is her name.
Dakia in the yellow dress looked beautiful. I thought she was gonna be more entertaining and like featured more. Maybe she will. I feel like there's something underneath. I don't know. I feel like she's gonna be entertaining.
I was with you, Dante.
Felt that water as an old. Yeah. I think
we couldn't really get with Walter.
Yeah,
great guy as a human.
Yep.
But
we heard some other information too that affirmed a lot of the stuff that we were feeling as well lately, which we're not talking about. But yeah.
Yeah, yes. I mean, well, Sabrina already put it out there, but he to me, that was last season. If you want to see what we thought last season, go back and watch those episodes.
Yeah, we saw that. We saw that coming. Doesn't mean we take away from the connection that him and Sabrina have still. There's no doubt that that's there. She'll be the first one to tell you that.
He just looks like he's just be swimming in pussy.
100%.
Like he just looking for pussy, eating up pussy, want to find new pussy.
All at the same time. Pussy, toes, fingers, every single part of him.
Yeah, he's a pussy monster. Yeah. Oh. Dakia did not stand out like I thought she would. She can't be too quiet. Hoping to get more from Dakia.
100%. I agree with you. Yeah, because we need more.
Yeah, we need more. I have no idea about her. I don't know what connection she made. Like she slid under the radar on this.
Yeah, but that's okay. We'll find out.
We'll find out. There's more
see
time.
If she pops up. She might have slid under the radar, and all of a sudden it's like ding, 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 ding.
Right,
she's real up there, right up on her face.
Mm-hmm.
To be determined.
TBD. I went through every last note. We went through every last person, every last connection, and every last moment. I think we nailed it on this.
Yeah.
B, are you laughing at me? Walter was a pussy monster.
It was. I don't think it was. I think was is past tense. I think it's still present tense. Is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels really good to say that about him now and just feel confident because I can't. Season 6, episode 1, quality over quantity. We love the new cast. We're looking forward to getting to know more about them. This
Yep.
looks like a fun ride. I don't have any predictions thus far besides what we've already shared because it's just so new. But y'all can tune in next Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific time after the show so we can talk about it. Share with a friend, like, follow, subscribe, all the good things, retweet, repeat, no, I'm just playing. That's it. That's all I got.
Re. All right, I got to go watch Janet's documentary somehow.
Oh
That
my
came out
God.
tonight.
Yeah, you do. All right,
Yeah.
you guys, thank you so much for hanging with us and see you next week.
See you next week.
Peace.
Bye.